Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to say good morning, but I wanted to introduce you to my special guest today. I brought on, he is our team mentor in my new business venture that I mentioned last week. He's the founder of Overcome Nation. His background is actually in real estate investing, and he's been very successful in this industry. Mr. Rick Gutman, welcome. Good morning.
Hello, hello. I'm
How
happy
are
to
you
be here
today?
with you.
Thanks for taking some time out today with me. And to give you a little background, sort of what in the last week, I did a live with Tanya, and I announced an adventure I was going to be going on. And so we announced it was a business adventure, and I neglected to mention the company that I've aligned myself with, but it kind of gave me a reason to come back on and invite a special guest to give some insight into kind of what we're up to. But I shared with her, just to give you some background, Rick, on last week that I was actually looking for like a franchise business and an extra stream of cash, and franchise was kind of the way I was really looking to go. And she really brought to light, brought to light that I was already aligned with franchise. So she kind of explained in our live how this company, Viseo, which we've never mentioned, is an invisible franchise. So my first question to you, Rick, I wanted to get your insight on, there's so many other network marketing companies out there. What makes this one so special? Like, why this company? Why now?
Well, it's a combination of things. I'm very careful when I say that, the network marketing company that I'm with is the very best one out there, even though I believe that it is, right? Because the truth is, there's a lot of wonderful network marketing companies that have been around for many, many years. But I can tell you why we are significant. I can tell you why I believe this will be a legacy company. I'll summarize it first and then I'll go into detail. From the company of Viseo and what they've done to the business school of Overcome Nation, that combination makes it very unique because in the 16 years I've been one of the top producers in this field, I've never seen an organization that has a business school that teaches financial education along with all the business principles that you need and all the trade secrets that you need in the network marketing space, a combination of that. So let me just first start with Viseo. Viseo's owner has built two other companies to $1 billion in sales. That's significant. Most companies are doing everything they can to get to $1 billion, and here he has built two others to $1 billion. In fact, his last company, they paid out well over $1 billion in commissions, where others are trying to get to $1 billion. He paid out $1 billion. When he and his wife came out of retirement to build Viseo, I came out of retirement because I knew that he was going to do something very significant. And as we stepped into business together in January of 2017, the anticipation for this company was very great. In fact, we did $12 million in sales in its first 30 days.
Wow.
Now, I've been told that's a record. No company has ever done in the network marketing space, never done 12 million in the first month before. But I personally have never seen that. Here we are, 3 years into it, and we've done almost 200 million in sales. We're a debt-free company, right? You don't see many $200 million companies that are debt-free. We're doing business in 11 different countries. That's significant.
Yeah.
Most network marketing companies don't even venture out till maybe their fifth or sixth year into one country. We're already in 11 and only 3 years old. We've been recognized as one of the top 50 companies in healthcare, and we were the only one in the direct selling space, which
Wow.
is significant.
Yeah.
Our commissions, we pay out over $1 million a week in commissions. to brand partners and business owners. Um, products are disruptive. Anywhere from our sleep products to our energy products, we have anti-aging, we have multivitamins, we have CBD, which is about to become a $22 billion industry according to Forbes.
They have a patent on the CBD, do they not?
There is a patent on the CBD and the liposome technology, and it is made here in the U.S. from plant to package, and it is time released, and so it's very, very significant. I'm sure there are a lot of CBD products out there, but this one is standalone, which is why we patented
Mm-hmm.
the product. We have it in both the oil, where you take it internally, and the topical, a lotion. Now we're stepping into healthcare. Next week, we launch our skincare products, and we have managed to partner with Warren Buffett's company, who owns a company that formulates the most advanced liposome technology in the world in the area of skincare. And liposome technology is where you get all of your absorption. And if I was going to launch a product in skincare, I would want a skincare that really penetrates the skin, that really your skin can truly absorb. That's a big, big difference in this space. So we're in multiple billion-dollar categories, which tells you that um, the owners understand the marketplace. And I will say that if an owner has built two other companies to a billion, I would highly doubt that he wouldn't, be able to produce a third billion-dollar company with the right, with the right teams. And he's been in the industry for over 33 years, right? So I had done business with him in the past, and he was by far the best CEO founder I had ever worked with, and treated brand partners um, like they were the sole, reason for the company's existence. And you don't see that very often. Many people say it in word, but not follow through in deed. And he definitely has. So our products are disruptive because they're liposome technology. The technology is not new; it's just new in the supplement industry. Been around since 1960s, when they formulated chemotherapy, and they were looking for ways for the toxins to penetrate the cell wall. They thought, we'll wrap it in a type of fat bubble, and when you consume it, it wouldn't break down in the stomach. It would break down into the intestine and get immediately in the bloodstream, and you'd absorb 100% of that. All we did was take the same technology and put the richest uh, ingredients of whole foods in the world that are beneficial to the body, and in a sense, you could say they're pharmaceutical grade, holistic food products. And so it's no longer what you. They used to say that you are what you eat, but you really are what you absorb,
Mm-hmm.
and so you are able to absorb 80 to 100% of all of our products. That's a disruptive product in the marketplace, especially in the world of the trend is disruption. You look at Uber and how they've disrupted the taxi industry. You look at Airbnb and how they've disrupted the hotel industry. You look at Amazon and how they've interrupted the department store industry. They do this all online. They do this with apps in your phone, and they don't own any department stores. They don't own any hotels, and they do not own any cars.
Yeah.
That's significant. That's
Yeah.
disruptive.
Yeah.
So I aligned myself with a company that I knew would do significant things, and we're already doing that. Now, when you combine that with Overcome Nation, our business school, we will always have one more product than everyone else in a $300 billion space, in the network marketing space, and that is a business school that actually teaches you how to own and operate a business, an invisible franchise, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But I have 5 years with the author of the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, Robert Kiyosaki and Sharon Lechter, and many other mentors along the way. But I spent $500,000, probably a little over 500,000, in mentorship and leadership in the area of financial education, which is the understanding of how to make money work harder than you,
Mhm.
right? And you need to understand systems to do that. And we have over 500 hours of this financial education and capacity, how to have mental strength and emotional, physical, spiritual, time strength,
Yeah.
imagination strength, teaching strength, love strength, um, perseverance. These strengths that make up capacity, because a person will never be able to out earn their capacity. So we focus on building the person, and the person builds the business.
Yeah.
And so with that, we have something that nobody else has. And that's what, together, that's what makes this significant. And the fruit, before I kick it back to you, the fruit of what we have in Overcome Nation is that we have the largest team in North America. We have, we are producing the highest checks in North America. We have the highest retention I've ever seen in the industry. And it's all because people are learning and growing and becoming what they want to become, which is free financially and also free in their time.
Yeah. A lot of personal development. So can you sort of maybe touch on how this can be considered like an invisible franchise, is what Tanya called it? Sort of
Yeah,
explain, yeah, how that relates.
yeah, I love that question because it really is truth, and that's one of the things that I realized when I stepped into this industry in 2007, and and so I went to business owners that knew business. I didn't go after people that were gullible or didn't that were naive. I went after people that were legitimate business owners, and they had money, but they didn't have time because they didn't have systems. They were the system. So when they went on vacation, the system went with them. That's the hazard of being a self-employed small business owner. I was one since I was 17 years old, so I had a deep revelation of
That's
that.
what I am myself. I do accounting and bookkeeping from home.
Oh,
I was gonna, that's kind of, I'm a busy person, and that was another question was, is this for busy people? So you can answer that question at the same time.
sure, sure. Well, I mean, a lot of business owner. If you're a business owner, then you're solving problems every day. You're a
Yeah.
problem solver,
Yeah.
and that keeps you extremely busy. And as a self-employed person, it's difficult to delegate that responsibility to somebody
Yes.
else because they are never going to take care of the customer like you
Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
right? And so what happens is we become that system. So when you go on vacation, that system goes with you, and the income stops.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And so if you if you enroll me in the business and I become a business owner like you, and you teach me how to build, and you find somebody else that wants to start a business just like you did, just like I did, you teach us to do the same. So we go out and get two people that want to own a business. You now have 6 locations.
Right.
And my location could be anywhere in Canada, it could be anywhere in the United States, and it could be anywhere in the other 9 countries, right?
Yeah.
And so the only difference is I could have a multi-million-dollar business, but there's no signage in front of my house. There's no signage in front of your house.
Yeah.
And the benefits are it didn't cost you anything. I enrolled in the business. You helped me with the system of duplication to get me started. And then I start running my business on my own. And I find good people that want to start a business, that want to start an invisible franchise. And they do the same. It didn't cost you one extra penny. And in fact, your startup cost was, between $500 and $1,500, and you can cash flow positive within your first week if you found somebody like me that's like, hey, pick me, I want to go, I want to run, I want to learn, like I want to have passive income. And and so in traditional business, let's say in a traditional franchise, let's just say that you were to buy like a Subway sandwich place location, you would be in that $250,000 just to
Yeah.
buy into the franchise, fit out the location so it looks like all the other Subway sandwich places. Your goal is to sell about 300,000 in sandwiches in that year to take home $40,000 to $50,000 per location.
It's a lot of baloney.
That's a lot of baloney, right? I've never heard that before, but that's very, very true, right? And
Yeah.
that's appropriate, right? Because, and I want to point this out to everyone, that's called traditional business. Put in 250,000. Your goal is to sell 300,000 to take home 40 to 50. You know, the world looks at somebody who owns a Subway place and they think, man, you must be well off. They don't
Yeah.
realize that they're selling a lot of baloney
Yeah.
in order to take home 40 to 50,000. So if they want to double that, and they want to take home 80 to 100, depending on the location, then they have to come in with another 250. So now they're in this franchise 500,000 with hopes of selling 600,000 to take home 100,000,
Yeah.
right? And what I loved about our space and the network marketing space is that um, you can get up to six figures and multiple six figures within your first year in the network marketing space if you come in with a strong work ethic.
Yeah.
You build a network. You decide you're going to become a professional in this industry, and you now have a debt-free business that costs you $500 to $1,500 to get started. You and debt free, as in like 6 foot capital letters, debt free, which rarely happens in business. And because you do the books, right?
Yeah.
Books.
Yeah.
So it's difficult for a company to have no debt. The other thing is that now that there's a system of duplication, that creates cash flow. And that cash flow is finding you every single week with a little bit of your involvement. And so, as others are taking ownership of their business and finding other business owners and moving product, that cash flow is coming to you in the form of passive income. And passive income is the type of income that Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest men in the world, says if you don't figure out how to make money while you sleep, you're going to work until you die. So Warren Buffett is an expert on passive income, and passive income is taxed at the lowest percentage because you can expense things against it. Again, doing books. So the other benefit is that if you teach me the business and you're working 1 to 2 hours a day, let's just say you work, just for the sake of math, you work 1 hour a day, you teach me to work 1 hour a day, and you taught somebody else to do 1 hour a day. Well, we duplicated what you did in that same scenario. So we go out and get 2 business owners. You now have 6. So you're working 1 hour a day. We're each working 1 hour a day. But because they're in your organization, you're getting paid for 6 hours.
Yeah.
Working 1, getting paid for 6. Those 6 go out and get 2. And now you have 12 to 18 people, and it continues to grow.
Yeah.
Right before you know it, you have over 100 locations, like an invisible franchise.
Yeah.
You're working 1 to 2 hours, and everybody else is only working 1 to 2 hours. So you're working 1 to 2 hours, but you're getting paid anywhere from 100 to 200 hours. That's called leverage.
Yeah.
The wealthiest people in the world look for leverage. They leverage banks, they leverage money, they leverage people, right?
Yeah.
And so in this case, you are now stepping outside of the 24-hour a day rat race. We often hear people or quotes that we see online and Facebook, and the question is, the broke people have a 24-hour period in a day, and the wealthy people have a 24-hour period in the day. How is it that the rich people continue to get more done, have more productivity, and make way more money in a 24-hour day than a person that's broke? And the reason, one of the difference is, first, many people are poor in their mindset.
Yeah.
Or broke in their mindset. Number 2 is they're not leveraging a system that will bring in cash flow while they're sleeping. The rich leverage systems. They love systems. Why? Because people can make money, but systems are the key mechanism to create wealth. So systems create wealth. And I'll just say this, there's 4 categories of types of cash flowing assets. You can gain it through stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. You can gain it through commodities. You can gain it through real estate, rental properties, or you can gain it through businesses that have systems that cash flow without your active involvement. Those are the four basic categories. And so the direct selling falls right into the alignment of business. So, so the trouble in the network marketing space is there's not enough financial education for people to communicate it the way I just communicated it. If that was more effective in this space, you'd see a lot more people like yourself that are business owners and professionals say, "Hell yeah, I want to be involved in this."
Yeah. And so is this something pretty much anybody can do?
Well, I tell people, look, if you can learn, you can earn,
Sure. Yeah.
right? And so if people can learn and they're motivated, then they can earn as much as they want to. But it's and this in the scenario that I painted earlier, you get back way more than you put in as you build a team, an invisible franchise,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so for people that keep their eye on how that works and put in enough of the workload to make that happen, this business will open up its treasure. And so I would say, yes, anyone can do it because if they can learn, they can earn. Where people fall short is where that they start something and they don't finish.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the world of success um, only rewards the finishers, not the starters. And in our world, most people start things, but there are very few finishers. So you have to have vision. You have to have the education,
Yeah.
and in that vision and education, belief happens, and perseverance happens, and routine happens because you're taking action, and all of a sudden, the light begins to light up the light of education and understanding begins to light up your road, and you start realizing, I really can do this because you begin to learn where the tools are
Yeah.
for you to have success.
Yeah. One thing for me that I love about the industry is the community aspect of it. And so, can you share a little bit of how you created this Overcome Nation? It's really a community of great people.
I know.
Really, like I just love just the atmosphere of a community. For me, that was a huge attraction because people need community and positive community, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is where I say the framework of the network marketing space is a lot like big business owners, Fortune 500 companies in the world, because what they do is they look for good people and
Mm-hmm.
they pour into them and train them and educate them. And that's exactly what we do in the space of Overcome Nation. They come in and then we immediately begin to sow into their life and teach them and educate them. And in that process, there becomes a type of unity and trust and belief. But what happens we have a group page, private group page, because I don't teach anyone outside of my organization. Um, and there we have 4 nights a week of training, 1 hour training. So there's 4 hours a week of training that's taking place each and every week. There's over 500 hours of this financial training and capacity training and all the different strengths and all the different dynamics. And it's interesting, because you have 500 hours of training, 500 different topics. That's really difficult for someone to be able to come in and teach on 500 different topics without saying the same thing over and over again. And that's the depth, the well of education that you gain, especially when you're dealing with people and you're pouring into people. You become a builder of people.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. You're always leaving them better than when you found them in all of the different areas. And so we're all together in a virtual room
Yeah.
4 nights a week. And so it has strengthened this culture. Like, for instance, on a smaller scale, I mean, you and I have never met face to face,
Yeah.
but we're already engaging and having a conversation and building a business relationship right here.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine doing that with several people on the team that all have one goal, is to help you to win
Yeah.
and help you to have a successful business. And so what happens is you start building these friendships online. And then when it's time for us to get together and do like a 3-day event, you already know everybody in the
Yeah.
room,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so it becomes very tight, very unified. But what makes it so exciting is that for the first time in most people's lives, they get to experience what it's like to have friendships, hundreds of friendships, even thousands of people that are developing wealthy habits and talking about success and moving forward. They're not paralyzed with the negative in their life. They're moving forward. They're overcoming. And, they always say that get around 4 millionaires, you're going to be the fifth millionaire because you're picking up their habits.
Mhm.
Well, imagine when you get around thousands of people that are all on your team. We're all together and we all have the same wealthy habits and drive for success. It'll literally throw a cold bucket of water on anything negative in your life, and you start gaining this negative, this inward momentum, and you start getting used to what it's like to be around people that are constantly moving forward, and it helps you to develop your routine. And then when you step outside of that camp and well, maybe you at your workforce or you get around negative people, you're so white hot with the understanding of business and inspiration. You're no longer taking part in that negativity. You're there speaking life into other people's lives, and you're building them.
Maybe helping, yeah, bring it out of them, or get them out of that
That's right.
negativity or funk or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's awesome. So can you maybe share a little, because you were in real estate investing is kind of your history, right?
Yes.
How did you evolve from real estate investing to network marketing? It's just such
Uh-huh.
a different world, I guess, right?
Yeah. It still fascinates me today because I was not a fan of network marketing. I didn't like network marketers because they would communicate their industry by begging. They communicate their industry by try my product and it's the best and everybody should do this, and they call you and call you and call you. And in being a traditional business owner from the time I was 17, it was a turnoff to me to have people approach me like that, because they approach me like a salesperson. I want to buy, I just don't want to be sold in anything. Most people want to buy, they don't want to be sold.
Yeah.
And so in the space, I was always approached by people that were trying to sell me instead of educate me. Had they educated me much earlier in life, I would have probably gotten involved and started my career in this space much earlier. So I sought out Kiyosaki when I stumbled on the Cash Flow Quadrant book and then the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, and I read everything that he had, and it really began to change my mindset. I had already made my first million in the diamond and gemstone industry, in the real estate industry, under a friend that mentored me. But I was really nervous that I made the money during the real estate boom in the United States, and like if it lifted, how would I be able to keep it? I don't really understand the keys to wealth. I only know two skill sets: the diamond industry, and then how to buy land and subdivide it industry. But in a down market, then you're limited. You have to evolve. And so after reading all of the Rich Dad books in the franchise, I found that he lived about 4 hours from my house, and he and Sharon would offer these classes, these book studies on different topics: oil and gas, gold and silver, the decline of the dollar, real estate, taxation, working with banks, how the left brain and the right brain works, going from the industrial age to the information age to the conceptual age, and people getting paid for their ideas. And so that was 5 years of those types of things. So I saw that he offered that, and they were just weekend book studies, but they were expensive. They were $3,000 to $5,000 a weekend, or 25,000 for the week. And I was vulnerable because I could feel the real estate boom drying up in the U.S. And there was somebody in the class that I had known for a couple of years. There was only about 100 of us from all over the world that would get together for these book studies about 5 times a year. And this couple stepped into network marketing, and I was wondering why. They were already wealthy. They owned apartment complexes, they owned nightclubs and restaurants. They were investors, and they were excited about network marketing. I was so turned off by network marketing, I didn't pay any attention to them. And that was early in 2006. And then by the end of 2006, they were making 100 grand a month in passive income, not sales, but income.
Yeah.
And that's the same type of passive income that you would gain in having an invisible franchise or having rental properties. To me, that was like having 1,000 unit apartment complex to make 80 to 100,000 a month in passive income. And I wanted to know how they could do that without having employees.
Mm-hmm.
So I sat down with them at the end of 2006 because I could see that they were proving that this model really works. And so as I began to look at it and unfold it for myself, not listening to other people, I wanted to look. Now I have the education. I have financial education now, right? I have 5 years with Kiyosaki and Sharon Lechter. I have this background of owning businesses. Now I'm taking all of that information and experience, and I'm qualifying a network marketing business. And I was blown away as I unrolled it, and because the truth that came out to me after about a month of studying it out was that you could have an international business without any trucks, very little inventory, no warehouses, no employees, passive income, tax at the lowest percentage, debt free. Like that's a small business owner's dream if they could attain that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, to me, it was a lot more apparent that this was a great business model for somebody that was serious about business. So it wasn't. It was like the difference between, going from a black and white TV to a color TV, right? It was that dramatic for me because I had done traditional business like everybody else, and being exposed to this was by far better, you
Yeah.
know. And I made that transition, and I changed my identity, so to speak. I mean, people used to approach me for diamonds and gemstones, and then they would approach me for land deals and investment deals. And I cut off all of that, and I said, no, I don't want to talk to you unless you want to hear about the network marketing space.
Yeah.
And people started to come to me as in, okay, well, this guy knows business, and he spent a lot of time with other mentors and Kiyosaki, and that his perception of the network marketing space and the way he communicates it is very interesting. You should probably sit down and talk with him. And within 15 months, I had an $18 million a year distribution business in multiple countries. And I've been here ever since, 16 years later.
Wow, it's impressive. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, those are all the questions I have for you today. You've been an extreme big help, that's for sure. Something to think about for not only me, but other people who might be considering making a change. Or, yeah, we appreciate all you do for us. I always look forward to seeing you and everybody else on our little community page there and hearing stories and some great people. And yeah, so I want to thank you for taking your time out. And I guess that's a wrap.
Let me add one more thing,
Sure.
because I think that your friends would probably know this, is that Viseo had already done 150 million in sales before we are official in Canada now, right?
Oh, that's right. We do have a grand opening next month. That's right.
Yeah. So next month we are official in that country, and you have it so much easier than we did, because when we stepped into Viseo, we just anticipated that it would be a great company with no history.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's an amazing history here. A company that's already at 200 million in sales, debt free, 11 countries, and now they're coming to Canada to open up Canada officially
February 27th.
February 27th. And what I love about this space, if you're the first one to share it with a family member, an associate, a community, a province, a state, a
Yeah.
country, every time somebody enrolls, they end up being in your organization.
Yeah.
And for those that think that this is like one of those pyramid things, I just want to correct them real quick. All we know in school and all we're taught is to become employees, and we
Yeah.
step into corporate. And corporate, a true corporate pyramid, it pays like a pyramid, right? So when you work for somebody else, your job pays like a pyramid. Everyone who has seniority above you makes more money than you do. That's just the way it is. Even government works that way. Law enforcement works that way. Churches work that way. That's the structure. So the one most valuable characteristic about network marketing is that it does not pay like a pyramid. So that means it doesn't matter where you are put in, you have the ability to make more money than everybody above you. You cannot do that in corporate America, but this happens every day in the network marketing space. And so you ask, well, why do people think it's a pyramid then? And that's because when they network marketing is known for showing people on a whiteboard how it pays.
Yeah.
And so immediately when they see people above, they go, see, I want to be that guy. I want to be the person at the top.
Yeah.
Okay. And so why do they say that? Is because they know that's how they get paid, right? You have employees and you have lower management, middle management, senior management, vice president, and CEO. And so they take that same mindset that has formed them, their blueprint of life and business and money, and then they put that picture frame around network marketing and they leave thinking it pays the same.
Yeah.
It does not, right?
Yeah.
And that is what makes this industry so valuable, and why it does almost 300 billion a year globally in this space, right? So if I was living in Canada, I would not stop talking to everyone. I would shout it from the rooftops. I would show them the advantage, and I would build the largest organization in Canada, because we're moving into that territory, and there's a lot of people embracing it, like yourself, that are professionals, and you're stacking out those networks, and it is truly, truly life changing.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thanks for
So,
reminding me that's coming to Canada very soon. I already knew
yeah.
that, but I forgot to mention that.
No problem.
Yeah, we're pretty excited up here, and our biggest challenge, I guess, will be waiting for CBD will be coming.
Yes.
But yeah, it's pretty exciting. We're very excited, and yeah, once again, I just want to say thanks. Thanks for all your insight. We appreciate all you do, and I look forward to continually learning from you, because there's so much to gain. Yeah, just in your whole Overcome Nation teachings. So yeah.
Well, thanks for having me. It's an honor to have your trust.
Thanks.
I appreciate it.
I
All
hope
right.
to meet you soon.
Yes.
Thanks, Rick.
All right. Bye.
Bye.